Tracy Construction, and Kyle's going to come and talk to us about his business and what they're doing, and we'll turn it over to Tracy.
Thank you.
Is it working? Last time I was here, I presented for another project that I had going, and the mic didn't work, so I had to yell at everybody. So I'm not going to yell at everybody today.
Hold on, we're getting your presentation loaded.
Awesome. Well, I'll tell a quick story.
There.
So Doug texted me Monday around, I think, noon, and said, "Hey, what are you doing Wednesday, 3/17? I don't know. And he said, "Well, do you want to present at 1 million cups?" I said, "Wednesday, 3/17, as in 2 days Wednesday?" And he said, "Yeah, sorry for the short notice." And well, here I am, crashed out a quick presentation last night. I had time to catch up. All right. Are we up yet?
Yep.
Cool. Awesome. Let's get this out of here so I can see what's going on. So, Tracy Construction is a fourth generation company. My great grandfather started this in the 1800s, building custom cabinets, custom furniture. He was originally a coal miner, and he got tired of being in the mines all day. And he said, "Screw it, it's time to do something that I want to do, and something that I can come home at night knowing that I'm going to come home at night." And it's been going since then. My grandfather did this during the Great Depression. He never ran out of work, which was amazing. He was able to put food on the table for my family. And my father took over after that. I've been doing this since I was 8 years old. My first job that I remember was I was picking up nails on a big job site. My dad handed me a Folgers coffee can. Nope, it was Maxwell. Didn't ever like Maxwell. But he handed me a Maxwell coffee can and said, "I will give you $5 for every can that you fill up with nails and small debris." I made $50 that day. I found stuff, and I'm pretty sure I made some trash as well. But one thing that we have always strived is relations with our vendors, our clients, because they are part of our family. Because we can't do anything without our clients, as well as our vendors. So we are always looking for local vendors to partner with that has good quality, so that we can provide that for our clients and say, this is all sourced from this local area. And I've got several people that I use that are from this area, mom and pop subcontractors that we use, that their quality is fantastic. And I've got some pictures and stuff to show you of a couple projects that we've done. Okay. Clicker. This is a house we built over off Pennsylvania 2 years ago. We actually built it for my brother, and we designed it with him, and designed it to his exact specs. When I say exact specs, it was down to exact location of every outlet. He had everything measured out on the plans because he knew that we could follow things. But this is what it looks like on the outside. This is when we were doing some dirt work around it. That is all hardy board siding. This hardy board siding has a ridiculous warranty. It lasts for a long time because it's made out of cement. It's not something that's just going to break off and flake over time. This is the inside. So all of our cabinets we get from several different vendors. So we run through Twin Oaks, we run through Dean's down in Neosho and some other places. But these are actually custom through Home Depot, and they're vinyl wrapped. So we like to offer a wide variety of options to all of our clients, because some clients can't or don't want to buy the highest top tier, whereas we can provide a knowledge and understanding of, okay, well, if you don't want to go top tier, here is the best bang for your buck that is still going to last you for a long time. These are actually vinyl wrapped. So you can scratch them with a fork and they don't even scratch, and you can spray them down with bleach and they're cleanable. And there's some more pictures on the inside here. Oh. And moving on. So, a little story about me. I didn't think that I wanted to do construction. I was a triple education major at Missouri Southern. I wanted to teach. Teaching is my passion. I love teaching, I love educating people. But I hurt my back. I was going to school. I was working construction, going to school, and I was getting burnt out on everything. And then I hurt my back. I blew 5 discs out my back, lifting an empty 5-gallon bucket out of the bed of my truck. An empty 5-gallon bucket out of the bed of my truck. I know, crazy. That's my kind of luck. But I took some time off. I took about 2 years off, and my father had already retired at this point, and so Tracy Construction kind of just went by the wayside. And while I was recovering, I was working at Lowe's as an electrical specialist because I had quite a bit of electrical knowledge, because there's always electric to do when you're a carpenter. I was getting text messages and phone calls every week saying, hey, you guys still doing this? No, we just can't. My father's retired. I gave everybody 3 months notice and shut down the company. He said, well, you should really think about coming back. I said, well, I don't know if I want to do this. I kind of want to go into teaching. I want to go teach high school and go on to collegiate. So moving on from there, I got better. My back started feeling better. I got tired of retail. So I decided to get hired on at Branco Construction. And at Branco Construction, I did a lot of different things that wasn't necessarily in my job title. My job title, I actually didn't have a job title, but I ran small jobs. I helped bring in some small jobs, and I was doing all the finish work that was provided for us by the client's specs. Doing that for a little while, I decided that I didn't want to pursue a high school teaching degree. I prefer one-on-one and small groups. So I decided, okay, maybe I'll stay here for a little while. I like doing finish work. I like making the finished project come to life, making the ideas come to life that people have. Whether it comes down to paint on the walls, making some different accent walls, some shelving, some custom cabinets, some custom trim and doorways. And I was still getting phone calls every week saying, do you guys still do construction? Is Tracy Construction still a thing? I said, well, no, not really. And it got to a point where I was getting messages, phone calls every day, it seems like, saying, hey, we've got this needs done. So I decided to kind of do it as a side hustle. Well, when your side hustle becomes more lucrative than your full-time employment, you kind of started thinking about it. So I started thinking about it. And in September, work started slowing down for me at Branco, and I had a chance to start doing my side hustle, Tracy Construction, full-time again. And I said, I like this, let's bring it back. So in September, October area, I decided to bring back Tracy Construction. We got relicensed, rebonded, reinsured. And I was talking with Doug. I've been talking with Doug for a while now about several different things in the community. I have another business, raising awareness of mental illness, but I digress on that subject. But, and so he was telling me, join the chamber, join the chamber, join the chamber. So I went up and redid the LLC. I'm the first generation to have the LLC. There's independent contractors before me, and they didn't really want to expand. They were doing it to survive, which good on them. But I want to make a name for Tracy Construction in the community as being a reliable, trustworthy, and honest company that isn't going to come in, sign contracts, and then never show up, never communicate. I give text messages, daily reports if necessary. If they want a daily report, they say, hey, what's going on today? I'll send them the daily report. I'll shoot them text messages and pictures showing them what we're doing. Moving forward, I got a contract offer to do apartment renovations at College View Manor. And we had our leads group in there yesterday. Man, there's a lot going on this week for the chamber. But I had a leads group in there yesterday, and we had to do 5 apartments under contract in a certain amount of time, and we kept having events coming up, and we kept having to push forward, and we had to keep getting things done. But that was my first big project coming back to Tracy Construction, and it is what kind of left us off. And now we are 4 months out on projects before we can even think about starting any major projects. But at the same time, I have a crew, and we specifically will take time out of our huge projects to go in and do small little nitpicky button projects. So you have a hole in your wall, somebody put an elbow or fist, or your kids threw another kid into the wall, because that's what kids do. Or they threw that toy and it dented the wall. Can you come fix this? I know it's a really, really small thing, and I don't even know if you do it, but will you come do this small little sheetrock patch? Absolutely. We've got a time at the end of the month where we go around and we spend a week, if necessary, going around doing small little jobs. 3 or 4 weeks ago, I had one of those weeks where I came in and I did nothing but small jobs. One small sheetrock patch the size of my hand here, did some paintings, did some trim work, and in a week I went to 8 different houses. I love being able to provide that service for our clients, because that is how you build relationships, coming to do the small things. Because it's the small things that matter, not necessarily the big things. It's the small things of saying, yeah, I will come take care of you. I will make sure that I'm there for you whenever you need it. So I'll show you some more pictures of these apartment renovations that we've done. I forgot to include some before pictures, but imagine 30 years ago, loveliness. So we came in and we did a whole new backsplash. This is glass backsplash here, and we had to cut them on with a tile saw. There was glass everywhere. It's a mess, but it turned out really good. And these are vinyl wrapped cabinets again that you saw previously in the other pictures. And they had a wall. So if you see here, is this the latest pointer? If you see here, there used to be a ledge that ran right here for you to put your elbows on. And it really just closed off the room. And we came in and said, what if we do a bar style? Let there be seating on the other side, take out that big catch-all, because those are catch-alls. Let's make the space utilizable. And so we came in and we trimmed everything out, did every new cabinets, did new countertops, and we installed them ourselves, new pantries and linen closets in the kitchen. A lot of people don't know that you can get cabinets in your laundry room area, linen closets that will perfectly match your kitchen cabinets. And there's always that option to hide all of your stuff instead of having them open shelves. This is the house that I did coming right back from retirement, from quitting Tracy Construction. I had to jack this entire awning up and redo all the posts, because all the posts were rotten 6 to 12 inches off the ground because they were improperly installed. And it was starting to sag, and there was getting a lot of water damage on the inside. And I crawled up on that roof. Probably shouldn't have done that because they were all rotted. But I climbed up there just to check to see what was going on. And they had water damage from settling from those posts. And so we were able to come in and take care of that. This is a dispensary that we got a phone call about and said, hey, we are trying to finish. We are trying to get in here and get things done, but our contractor is giving us the runaround. He's not coming in to finish things. And we need somebody to come in and do some cabinet fronts, get our lights working in our displays, and do some final end of job punch list, because he is nowhere to be seen. So we dropped everything that we were doing. We ran over there to finish that. It took us 2 days. We redid all of the lights in their display cabinets. We did some patchwork in their sheetrock. We built these ends for their displays, and so they could put their emblems up. Took care of all of their back end stuff and did some plumbing for them. And we were able to provide that service because we have more than one crew running at a time. And I personally dropped everything and went over there to take care of them, because they needed to be open, because they were starting to hemorrhage money because they were behind deadline. They had a set amount of time before they were going to start losing money, and we were able to come in and say, hey, we can take care of that for you. I think that is it on my presentations. So I have another quick story for you before I open it up the floor. Has anybody ever shaved a cat before? Okay, so my partner moved in with me and they had a cat. Well, the cat couldn't really take care of itself and didn't really know how best way to groom itself. And so it was long haired and it was always getting mats. And so we sat down and they held the cat down, but very carefully petting it, making it feel comfortable. And I was shaving. We got about halfway through. It took us about 2 hours last night, and it was fun. It was kind of scary because they get claws. And normally you take a cat somewhere, but I said no. We're gonna teach this cat to like this. And so what I realized as I was doing that is humans are like shaving a cat. They will only let you do what they're comfortable with. So why don't we, as business owners, make people comfortable to look outside the box? And that is it for me.
Who has a question?
I have a question first.
Mhm.
We really like to hear about where you're having problems or
Gotcha.
troubles or
I
issues.
completely forgot about that.
Yeah, so
So
if you can share that first.
I
that would
touched
be
on it
great.
a little bit, but my biggest problem right now is getting material, certain material, because we do custom remodels, custom builds, and sometimes that requires certain kinds of material. Right now, I went to bid a job doing a commercial kitchen, remodeling a commercial kitchen with that vinyl board that you see on the wall. Well, I can get that, but I can't get the glue to install it. The vendor that I use just got a shipment in like 2 or 3 days ago that was spoken for since January 1st. So I need vendors that can help provide that, or people that know that. It's a big networking game. In my line of work, it's nothing but networking. Do you know somebody that can do this? Do you know somebody that can do that? Do you know
Is it for
somebody
the
who has
walls?
that? Yeah, that's for the walls. I can't get any glue in, and so I can't even think to bid that job until I get something in. Because they've had 10 price spikes in the past 2 years. 10. Their 3-gallon bucket went from $20 to $90. It's ridiculous. But also not only that, we connected last night at the chamber meeting. She does interior design and remix and stuff. And that is something that I also need. I need people that can help me get a project finalized, get it done, get people happy. Because I might know quite a bit about a certain thing, but whenever it comes down to the colors on the wall, I can only give you what I think or what seems to have worked in the past. If storage, shelving, I need somebody that has that ideas, that has that understanding of this is what's going to make this room to its maximum efficiency. And I can do that to an extent, but there are always people that know something better than I do, and I have no problem asking for help, asking for referrals, and asking for resources. I'm also looking to expand here in the next year. We have 2 crews running. I want another crew in the next 6 months, so that we can not only provide the big jobs and small jobs. I want somebody that can go around and do nitpicking little tiny things at the end of a sale on a house. A punch list, end of sale punch list, because that's a big thing. We're trying to close this house. Can you come in and do this whenever we get done or before we close? Yeah, absolutely. But I'm going to expand so that we can provide that. We provide it now. It's just kind of hard to work in our schedule, and we're out a little bit. But I want somebody that we send there to do that. That's basically all they do is end of sale punch list, end of job punch lists. Did I hit about?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Awesome.
Right.
Is there anything else?
I got a question and a compliment that I picked up on, and it could be a selling point for you. When you were presenting, you were talking about the dispensary, and you explained what their deadline and what their pressure was, and you had an understanding of the potential for their cash flow to be disrupted. In my career, being around construction, typically construction companies are worried about what they can do, when they can get it done, when they can fit in. So moving that to that next level is a great level of customer service.
Well,
Because nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care.
right.
And all of us have got issues, so being a solution provider is like icing on the cake of the fact that you're doing construction.
Well, yes, we're in this to make money, but we're also in it to make connections and make family through our people that we help and people that we know. Because if we can make family in the world, we might have a lot less wars.
Good.
I love your attitude. And I'm looking forward to working with you, so.
As am I.
We need to get together, we need to make a difference.
Absolutely.
One thing you said that I really thought was good was that you're taking like the last of the month and you're going and doing small projects.
Mhm.
Because as a homeowner,
Right.
I have struggled a lot over the last year trying to find people that will do the smaller jobs
Right.
for you. I mean, I've had 3 people bid me a French drain and then no one will show up to do it. And so,
Right.
mine's small compared to everyone else's, and so I commend you for doing that.
Well, thank you. And again, there's only a certain amount of time for those small projects turn into one big project because there's a problem. And whether it be a small little sheetrock repair, I went into a house to do a single sheetrock repair about this big. And I got to talk with him and understanding what he does and what his family's been going through. And it turns out COVID really hit them hard. And they had been trying to get somebody to come out there and patch it, and he tried to patch it himself, and he was distraught over this what a lot of people see as a simple thing. But whenever you have a load being stacked on top of you of problems, concerns, life happening, maybe that single patch is the end of the world to you. And somebody needs to address that. Why are people not going out and addressing that? So that's what we do.
So I know you do small jobs and you do those like this and that kind of thing, but I mean, is there a certain, I guess you say niche or whatever that you really where you guys really excel and that's what you'd love to just do all the time?
Absolutely. Our niche for the past 50 years has been kitchen remodels and bathroom remodels. There's just you spend a lot of time in your kitchen and your bathroom, whether you know it or not. And our goal is to make what you really want happen. So one of our mottos is making your ideas come to life. So I have several 3D rendering platforms that I use to come up with some designs and make the option and sit down there. Did it go away? And so sit down and make what you're envisioning happen whenever we're talking about the bid. So I went and looked at a she shed build the other day because I like that idea. I like little custom things. And I was able to design it while we were sitting there on the first meeting in my program. I just crashed it out of my computer really quick and I said, is this kind of what you're looking at? And she said, oh, that's amazing. And I was just glad I could provide that. But our niche for the past 50 years has been kitchen and bathroom remodels. But we are general contractors. While we're doing kitchen and bathroom remodels, we do full build projects, we do commercial remodels, and we do everything else. And we have the wheelhouse in our back pocket to provide everything. Say we are a couple weeks out on something, and we need to get a roof on that ASAP. We got several people that do that. We hold ourselves to the same quality as we hold ourselves, because a contractor is only as good as his subcontractors. And if your subcontractors do shoddy work, well, that comes back on to contractors.
Anybody else have a question?
You raise your hand a minute ago.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you to tell us a little bit about your
other business you mentioned about bringing awareness to mental illness. Just a quick overview.
Am I allowed to do that?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so the other business is called the Non-Permitted Project. Our main goal is to bring awareness in the local community as well as national about mental health awareness, whether that be mental injury or a trauma that you've had, or just out of nowhere COVID struck. And COVID locked all of us away for a year. And whether you had a mental health injury or a mental health problem before, whenever you're locked away from everybody for an entire year and you're either stuck at home with your family is great, but over time, over a year of not being able to go out and see anybody else, things start to rise up. Or you're a college student that is completely cross country from your family and you're stuck. You can't do anything. You can't go see your friends because that's a problem. You can't go see your family because you can't get on an airplane to go see your family. So you're locked away. And it became a huge problem. If you look at the statistics for mental health problems, mental injury, there's a lot of names you can go down. I like to say mental health because it's a good broad one. It spiked during COVID. Suicide rate also spiked. So we were raising awareness via monthly events. So I host events at Joplin Avenue Coffee Company, Bookhouse Cinema, and the ROCC, which is a recovery program at the old station or salvage yard on 15th Street. That used to be a music venue from St. Paul's, I believe. So, but they are a recovery center now, so we host big events there. I'm hosting a back to school bash August 26th. We're having 4 local bands come in to perform, and I'm having an advocate for mental health speak and in between them and saying it's okay to have problems. It's okay to not be okay, because there are times where everybody is not okay. It happens. It's life. So why are we not talking about this around the dinner table? That's my big goal, is to get this spoken about around the dinner table, around your family, where our barriers that we have built ourselves up so far, bring it to the dinner table. I want to be able to walk into a coffee shop, see one of my friends, and be able to say, hey, how are you doing mentally? You look great physically, but how are you doing mentally? Instead of, how are you doing with that problem? No, I want to be able to say, hey, how are you doing mentally? How are you holding up? I know life's hard for you right now, so how are you holding up? Is there anything that I can do to help ease that load? We are partnered with NAMI. I'm partnering with several other companies. I'm actually also partnered with another construction company for the project. And we are raising awareness through all of the networking that we do. So if you need a driver's license, if you need somebody to help you go get your driver's license, we have connections. I have established that network that I can send you to that person, and they can go help you get all of the identification, all of the resources you need to get that driver's license, because that is a huge holdup for a lot of people. I know it's really hard to get into Ozark Center without a valid driver's license, without proof of address. You can't get a driver's license without proof of address. There's certain channels that you have to go down. There are very few people that know how to do that. And so I have the option to say, I know somebody that can help you with that, because that is a huge problem. Not being able to have an ID, not being able to help dig yourself out of the hole because the system isn't letting you. Let's break the system. Let's throw that animal out in the yard. But also, we not only host monthly events, we do online platforms as well. So Facebook and Instagram at the Non-Permitted. We showcase forms of expression, whether that be physical art, music, poetry, animations. We allow people to send in their submissions to us, and we make it pretty, put it up on the platform so they can showcase, and if they are open to it, we allow them to put their Venmo or their Cash App tag or the Square tag, because aspiring artists might not have had the option before. We're helping them grow their expression and letting them know that it's okay to have this expression. And we allow them to tell a little story about why they made that work of art, their music, what they're going through, because maybe that'll help somebody else. But also at the end of every post that we do, we post the National Suicide Hotline. Because say you're scrolling through Facebook and Instagram and you're at wit's end and you don't know what else to do and you don't know where to go or who to turn to, maybe just that little simple thing at the end, suicide hotline. And we're working on a 2-click URL. So you click it, and you click another one, and then you're there. Also, my biggest goal in the next 5 years is to set up a new form of suicide hotline. Not texting, not phone call, not emails back and forth, but FaceTime. So you see somebody that can help you, that's there for you, lifetime, right there in your face. Can't tell you how many phone calls I've gotten at 3 o'clock in the morning saying, hey, what do I do? I'm stuck, will you help me? So, yeah, click FaceTime every time. When I see somebody who's distressed on the other end, I will always click FaceTime. And they say, no, I'm ugly. I say, I don't care, I want to see your face. I want to have that option. And as far as I know, as far as I'm aware, there is not a 24-hour hotline that is FaceTime. I want to partner with somebody to do that. Does that answer your question? Anything else?
Real fast, I've known you mentioned, you
You don't
mentioned
know, Mike.
NAMI, I don't know if you're partnering with the union body here in Southwest Missouri, but
Yep.
I do have the executive director's number, they can talk to up in Springfield if you wanna.
For-
NAMI?
Yeah, I am partnered with the Joplin local
Okay.
chapter.
Okay.
They actually spoke at my event last year.
Nice.
And last year, we had over 200 people in attendance. So our back to school bash, it is tailored towards high school and college age individuals, open to the community of course, but it's tailored to them because they're about to go back to one of the most stressful times in their life, school. And I don't know who here has been to school. School's stressful. I was a triple education major. Talk about 187 credit hours. It's stressful, but I think.
I got a couple thoughts on your construction company.
Yep.
You said that you're trying to grow and scale, and it sounds like right now you are doing too much. And so a couple ideas to help free you up. Number
Yep.
one is I figure out what is your highest and best use for your company.
Mhm.
Probably going to patch a piece of drywall isn't. And so figure that out first, and then think ahead, how do you build it in a way so that you can
Right.
do your highest and best use.
Mhm.
One thing that I would suggest is to look into getting a virtual assistant.
Right.
So India has some, you can have a 40-hour-a-week full-time VA that speaks fluent English well
Right.
for less than $1,000 a month. And so if you wanted to do daily updates on projects, you can create a shared Google Drive that they have access to and just teach your contractor to take daily photos and upload to the drive.
Right.
And then the VA can send out the emails every day of what you've done. You can also use a voice over IP service like Ring Central and
Okay.
convert your cell phone number over to that so that when somebody calls in, it rolls over to the VA and they can answer and set your appointments and run your projects so that it
Okay.
totally frees you up. They can send text messages on your behalf. The client never knows that it's not you.
Right.
And so that will free up your time a ton there if you've discovered that your highest and best use is not,
Right.
running the projects and doing the day-to-day, which is probably not.
Right.
The other thing that is interesting, if you're gonna take on small projects, you can't really build a business on small projects unless you go all in, but it's logistically, you'll probably never find profit because there's not a profit in those projects.
Right.
But what it does do is it gets your foot in the door into a home. You get to have a conversation with a homeowner about their future dreams for that property. So their kitchen might be 20 years outdated, but they don't have the money to do that. They don't even have the know-how to patch a piece of drywall. And so as you're fixing that, you have that bigger conversation, and then you can form some key partnerships. So for example, I'm a lender, we have software that if I enter in a client into that software program, it monitors their home and their home's equity over time and sends me reports. And so what you could do is you could come in and the kitchen remodel might be 40 grand and they may not have the equity in the property now. But if you then bring in a lender partner or a realtor partner and have a deeper conversation about, hey, this is the goal. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna enter you into this program, we're gonna monitor your home's equity, we're gonna help them with your credit. And so you become like a one-stop solution for people. Because when somebody wants to remodel a kitchen, just the construction is overwhelming. But then thinking about how they're gonna pay for it, and are they gonna see any value added to the property, there's a lot of unknowns.
Right.
And so when you're in patching drywall, it's an opportunity to open up a conversation and then be that solution. So, hey, this costs 40 grand, you know, here's my lender and here's my realtor. Realtors do something called a competitive market analysis, a CMA.
Correct.
They'll pull comps and tell you roughly what it's gonna be worth once that repair is done. Then the lender can analyze and enter them into the program and be like, hey, the software says that you're about 2 years out from having enough equity to do a cash out to pay for this.
Right.
And then the software is gonna maintain communication, you don't have to do anything. As soon as you unlock that equity, then the lender's coming back to you saying, hey, they're ready for a cash out to start this project, you should re-engage them. And so it's a longer term play, but to scale and to find that growth, that's how you use the day-to-day as kind of an entry into expanding that business model out. So, a couple things I would be thinking of if growth is the,
Right.
the thing.
Those are some really good things.
Yeah.
I'd like to get your card later if that's an option. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.